Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Angela. I make investment banking videos here on YouTube along with the occasional travel and lifestyle videos. If you're a long-time subscriber, welcome back. Today's video, I'm going to go over the comprehensive guide step by step on how to get an investment banking offer. This will be slightly more geared to undergraduate students in college because that was my own situation. But you should adapt it how you see fit and take different key components and tips and tricks and pertain them to your own situation. So going straight into it, step number one, get the necessary relevant experience. What I mean by this is you are going to need a stepping stone internship or job that is related to investment banking in some way, and usually that's a job that's somewhat related to finance. Now, there are a lot of jobs out there that are related to finance. You are going to need at least one of these prior experiences that will be a stepping stone to your investment banking internship or job. If you have only one internship or something only mildly relevant, try to use something else like a relevant club or class or program that you're in order to supplement that story. When they're going through these resumes, they like to find people who at least had some sort of prior relevant experience. Number two, make your resumes IB ready. What this means is that now that you have the relevant experience that you need to put this all on your resume. People like to obsess over the resume and the different line items, but as long as it structurally looks fine, which I'm happy to go into in another video, the exact line items and the wording you use doesn't matter that much. Essentially, investment bankers don't really spend more than 30 seconds looking over a resume. They'll look at important things like your name, your school, your GPA, and the experience that you had, as well as the clubs you're in. Very few people will actually go into each and every bullet to read through it. They're just going to read the line items. So make it very clear, and whatever role you're in, make sure that it sounds like it's relevant to investment banking at least. So step number three, now that you have the relevant experience and you have your resume ready with this experience on it, you want to begin starting to craft your story. So the general example of crafting your story means that you have a beginning of your story. This is the stuff about you, what school you went to, where you're from. Then you have your spark, which is the part that leads up to why you're interested in investment banking. And finally, you talk about how your interest grew as well as why you're there today. I have a video that goes a little bit more into your story, which I'll link down in the comment section below about how you can structure that. But essentially, you want to have your story prepared as step number three. You want to have a slightly more concise version for coffee chats, which is a later step, as well as a more elongated version that's about 1 minute to 2 minutes in length for your interview process. Step number four. Now that you have the relevant experience, you have your resume ready as well as your story, you're ready to start networking with professionals. A lot of the times what I do is I will actually attach my resume to my email to a professional to ask for a coffee chat. This gives them a little bit of background about me rather than it just being another random cold email. So it's almost always best to first reach out to alumni when you're asking people for coffee chats. This is because you guys already have a base connection and it gives them a reason to respond to your email. You can use a combination of LinkedIn or any of your school's databases or clubs in order to get the email addresses of these alumni. If there are very few alumni from your school, you can again use LinkedIn, but just make sure you find some sort of connection there. Maybe they went to your high school, you're from the same hometown, you both love soccer, just anything that's a relevant point that you guys can talk about. When you ask for a coffee chat, you should frame it as more of a learning experience. Say that you're very interested in the firm and in investment banking and that you'd love to get on a phone call with them or meet them for coffee to hear more about their experiences. It shouldn't be phrased as an email for a direct referral or a job. that's a no. So now that you've networked with some people, it's time to apply for the internship or the job. Make sure you keep an eye out for when applications open. When they open, make sure that you apply as soon as possible. A lot of these applications are on a rolling basis and they're going to interview the first few applicants. And once these seats fill up, it's going to get a lot more competitive and they won't hold as many interviews. And for the next step, it's the actual preparation for the interview process. You need to have a very good understanding of the technical skills needed for investment banking. I made a video going into this in depth about what you'll need to know, but essentially there are things like financial valuation, accounting, as well as behavioral, such as 3 stories for your strengths and 3 stories for your weaknesses. These behaviorals don't take too long to prepare. You can really just prepare them in a few days. But for the technicals, you can't just memorize the guide. It takes a lot more time to actually understand it. As you network, as you apply for internships, you should be studying for these interviews. It's too late to study for an interview when you actually get it, because when you get notified for an interview, it's usually going to be within a week. And lastly, the interview itself. So you've done all of the previous steps and now you got the interview for the job. The way it's usually structured out is that there will be a first round interview that will generally either be a video interview, which is not done by a person. There will be set questions that you'll have to answer through video, and really this first round interview is just to weed out applicants. As long as you answer all the questions normally, you don't seem too awkward, you seem like someone they can work with, you'll generally pass the first round. And then comes the super day. The super day structure varies from bank to bank, but just in the US, it'll usually be maybe 2 to 3 to 4 rounds with more senior bankers, and they will ask you about why you want to join this bank and really just classic behavioral questions with maybe some brain teasers tossed in between, depending on the bank and the interviewer. And afterward, you'll usually hear back about your offer pretty immediately after the super day, just because they want to let the applicants that they know they want as soon as possible and have a waiting list of other applicants who haven't gotten an offer yet. And that, guys, is my full step-by-step process on how to get an investment banking offer. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I'll include some links down below where I go into some of these steps more in depth in some of my other videos. But let me know if you guys have any questions. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the bell for notifications so you know whenever I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!